If you notice yourself in a relationship and you're resistant to asking for what it is that you really want, and maybe you want more time together, maybe you want more affection, whatever it is, notice, what kind of attachment style am I operating with? And maybe there's an attachment style that's not serving you in that moment. How do we move forward and generate and operate more from a secure attachment style versus the 3 other attachment styles that don't serve us? So if you're unsure what these attachment styles are, I'll describe them real quickly to give you an idea. But the important thing to remember, and this is something that not a lot of people are talking about, is that we're not locked by our attachment style. If you've got an attachment style that's not serving you because maybe the way that you were raised or things you experienced early on, it does not have to define you. You can absolutely repattern these attachment styles and move into one that's going to help you thrive and create the relationship that you want. So what are the attachment styles that sabotage us? The first attachment style that doesn't serve us is called the anxious attachment style. And this is the attachment style that is wired up that we have an internal voice that says we're not enough, but it's projected internally. It's saying in relationships, I'm not enough, and so therefore I'm not going to get the love that I want. Often as a kid, our parents weren't meeting our needs, our parents weren't around, and so we created this internal story that it must be something that I've done, I'm flawed, I'm not good enough, and so therefore I'm not going to get the love. So when you're in a relationship, there's this constant anxiety that if you screw up or you do the wrong thing, that the person's going to leave you. What we'll do is we'll pour in, we'll lose ourselves in this relationship, and we'll grab onto this other person and we'll overgive and we'll dive into this relationship, and we will feel triggered or we'll feel threatened when something goes wrong in the relationship. Like we might get really jealous if the person's talking to somebody else, or we might feel triggered because the relationship, we had an argument or had a fight, and we'll get really scared about that. Why? Because we are petrified of losing this person. That's the anxious attachment style. The second attachment style that doesn't serve us is the avoidant attachment style. The irony is the core is still very much the same. The core is there's something wrong with me, I'm flawed, so I can't get love, but we project it outwards. And really what the story is that other people are always going to let me down. We may have grown up in a family that didn't meet your needs as a kid. Parents were never around. And somehow we wired up this story that I can't get my needs met. So what we do is we internalize this by saying, I don't need other people. And we don't let people get close because the fear is that if we let them get really close, that they're just going to break our hearts. We let them get really close, we're going to get betrayed, we're going to get devastated, and our subconscious mind will not let us go through that pain again. And often what will happen is we get into a relationship and we kind of lean into that, and then the moment the other person starts to fall in love with us, our own attraction for them will go down. The moment they really get into us, we're like, for some reason, it's like, oh wow, I'm not attracted to them anymore. Why? Because we feel that we're flawed. And if they could fall in love with someone who's flawed, there must be something wrong with them. And so our own attraction goes down. Or we get into a relationship, they start sharing their emotions, they start falling in love, and we just feel suffocated. And we have to pull away and we put them at arm's length. If that's going on for you, notice that's an avoidant attachment style. The third dysfunctional attachment style is called disorganized, and it's basically a mixture of anxious and avoidant. And at first we pour in and we're love and we're like feeling attached, and then we feel suffocated and we push away. It's this push-pull disorganized attachment style. Different than all of that. And here's the good news. If you notice that any of those patterns are yours, have been yours up until now, use that phrase. Say, up until now I've been anxious, or up until now I have had an avoidant attachment style, but I'm creating a secure attachment style for myself. You and I can create a new self-image for ourselves that aligns with what we want. And this attachment style is called secure. And what that means is that you live a balanced life in relationships where you are your own person, but you're also sharing space emotionally, mentally, physically with your partner, and that you can receive support from your partner in a healthy way. You can allow that in. You can offer support to your partner in a healthy way. And most importantly, when there are arguments or setbacks or challenges, it doesn't rattle you. You know that, look, if they ultimately move on and find somebody else, you're going to be okay. Your source of love is not them. Or that if there's that argument, that the two of you will have the ability to work through it and become stronger for it. And so how do you move into the secure attachment style, and how do you ask for your needs to be met with the secure attachment mindset. There's really 3 things that you can do that are super simple and specific, and you can, like muscles, use these exercises to grow that attachment style capacity in yourself. The first of which is to own the belief system that you are worthy of love and you are enough just as you are. You're worthy of love and you're enough just as you are. So what's required in that process? What's required is we refuse to tell old stories that we're not enough. So if there was an upbringing story that said you're not enough because this thing happened, you refuse to give that old story any energy, and you create a new story for yourself that no, you are enough. You're enough just as you are because you're a child of spirit. You're a child of the Most High. You refuse to tell that old story, and instead you tell a new story about who you are and that you are enough just because you are who you are. I'll give you an example of this. An old story that used to occupy my mental space was that I'm not smart enough. Where did that story come from? I was in 4th grade and the teacher said, all right, you guys remember that test we took last week? That was a talented and gifted test. And so everyone who scored a 90 or above on this TAG, the tag test, we're going to move to this other room for this next section. Everybody else is going to stay here. So they started listing names of people, a bunch of my friends. Tyler, Jason, Chris, Mike, Sarah, all these people stood up in the class and they left, walked down the hallway to the talented and gifted room. So guess what? I was left in the classroom, a bunch of other people left in the classroom. So make no mistake, we knew if they're the talented and gifted ones, what does that make us? They're not talented, not gifted. And so in that moment, my little 9-year-old brain hooked up a belief system. What if I'm not smart enough? Complete fallacy. And yet, when I became an adult and wanted to launch my business, ideas of like, ooh, what if you're not smart enough? And I would hear those from that old story, that old paradigm, and I would interrupt it, cast it to the side and say, no, I have everything required for this dream. One great quote that you can just carry with you is this one. God doesn't call the qualified. God qualifies the called. In other words, for your dream, whether it's love, whether it's business, whatever you want to bring forward, that dream is there for a reason. You've got everything that you need. You've got the smarts, you've got the heart, you've got the capacity, you've got the emotional depth. Yes, we will be called to grow and expand ourselves, but we've got everything required for the fulfillment of that dream if we're just willing to take the steps forward. And that's what I did and grew a multi-million-dollar coaching business. You got to let go of the old story. So step number 1 in a secure attachment style is let go of the old stories that don't serve us and instead own the story that I'm worthy of love just as I am. And if you want support in that, because it really helps to have support with this, if you want some support, I've got a free resource for you. Click the link in the description below, and it's what's called a self-love activation toolkit. It's got affirmations, new thoughts, a meditation recorded from me to you that you listen to this on a daily basis. I promise you, it will shift your energy from any anxious or avoidant state into a more secure state for that relationship. So step 1 is us believing that we're worthy of love. Step 2 is believing that other people are capable of meeting your needs. Other people are capable of showing up. What story do we tell about other people? Because we've had people who have let us down, fallen through, betrayed us, all kinds of stuff. And yet there are people in your space right now who do come through. Even from the person, the waiter who takes your order and says, I'll be right back. There are people who do follow through for us. So how can we give more and more, kind of like inching out, allowing yourself to build the belief that, yeah, other people can really come through for you. Other people can really be there for you in your love life. And so the way that we begin to work on that leads us to step number 3. And that is that we make a very clear request of the other person, a small request, depending on the state of the relationship. If you're just starting dating, right, the request would be smaller. If you're in a committed relationship, the request could be bigger, but actually speaking your needs. For example, saying, hey, I have a need for affection, and what would help me feel really loved is if you grabbed my hand and we held hands when we walked and we go for a walk just holding hands. Would you be willing to do that for me? A very clear, simple request where it's easy to know, did he live into that request or did he not? When you do that, it comes from this place of trusting and owning your own love, trusting and owning the person can actually contribute to you, and then making that clear request, and you start stacking those one after another, you start building the trust in the relationship, knowing that not everything's going to be perfect. It's okay, but you're building that trust, and that increases the connection, and that increases the sense of the secure emotional state in the relationship. Now, it all comes back to what we're believing about ourselves and what we're believing about the potential in other people. So my question for you is, what beliefs do you have about yourself that support you in creating a healthy relationship? What beliefs do you have about yourself? That you are enough, that you are both loved and lovable? What beliefs would support you in creating a healthy relationship, or an even healthier relationship, or an even greater relationship? Whatever relationship that you're in right now, what would take it even higher? Go ahead and comment that. I would love to see those beautiful, powerful beliefs in the comment section. And know this is all in service of you and creating the amazing love life that you deserve. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.